Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to get into the media workouts that had transpired earlier this afternoon. We're going to talk about Devin Haney and Brian Norman looking sharp, looking like they're on their P's and their Q's. And this is just getting me more excited as a boxing fan, man. We're going to talk about Benavidez and Anthony Yarde as well, how they looked in the media workouts. Then, of course, we're going to talk about Bam Rodriguez and Fernando Martinez. You feel what I'm saying? In a particular situation that's going on with Bam. Then we're going to get into some open boxing topics as always, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button, that'll be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,200 mark. About to hit that 3,300 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. Let me go ahead and put this on subscriber only mode, because if you're not subscribed to the channel, why would we care about what you got to say, man? You know what I'm saying? It's really, really that simple. You feel what I'm saying? That's exactly how we're going to do this. If you want to speak your piece, you got to support the channel. You feel what I mean? Let's go ahead and get them likes up. Shout out to the boy Marlon2631 with the first comment of the day. My brother, he says, Mark, what's going on, brother? Lorenzo and the motherfucking Benzo showing love all the way from out Tokyo, Japan. Shout out to my boy Lorenzo. Chris Maldonado, my high school brother. What's going on, man? How you doing? Coffee Plant. What's going on? What's going on? Chris, I already shouted him out. Salute. My boy Coffee Plant said live fight reaction Saturday. That sounds like the plan, brother. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't know exactly when the fight time will actually be. Let's actually take a look at that. Haney Norman fight time. Considering that they fight in Riyadh, is definitely going to throw some things off. But it says the Devin Haney versus Brian Norman fight is scheduled for November 22nd. The ring walks are expected around 8:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Shit, my son definitely going to be awake, though. My son definitely going to be awake. So we're going to see exactly how that happens, how we going to do that. But no. We're going to do that for sure, though. We definitely doing that. According to Google, it says that the ring walks are expected to be around 8:01 p.m. Eastern time. So that's what it's looking like. I don't know. I don't know what fight that'll be exactly. I don't know if that'll be the Benavidez Yarde. I don't know if that, but that's the time frame that they're saying. So 8 p.m. That's when we gonna be in here. He said, "Wait, what? 8? How? I don't know, bro. That's just what I Googled. Considering that they're in Riyadh, I don't know, bro. Maybe that's why they having the fight happening a little bit earlier. The time zone is completely different over there." My boy Jalil Aziz. He says, what's up, Mazuma? Hit the like button. I appreciate that very much, man. Thank you for the super chat. That definitely helps the channel. You know what I mean? I appreciate all the love and support, man. And like I said, if y'all didn't get to check out that Bruce Carrington interview that I did, man, please go check it out. It was a smooth interview. Bruce Carrington actually said, yo, bro, that was a smooth drawing. You know what I mean? Like, good shit. So if y'all ain't see it, please go check it out. It was definitely one of the top interviews that I've done. Shout out to the boy Shushu. I'm wishing him the best. You know what I mean? I just respect. I really got a different type of respect level for, these fighters who, even though they're big names and they got hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff like that, they still take the time to, interact with channels, whether they big or small. You feel what I mean? He didn't even have a fight date coming up. He ain't have to do that. You know what I mean? Shout out to Tifo Burlton for making that connection between us. You know what I mean? And getting the interview on and popping. Another great person to add to the resume on Mazuma TV. Yeah, he do seem like a good guy. He do. You know what I mean? He competitive. You feel what I mean? And he want to be the best. And that's the type of fighters that you want to, invest your time into. Not the ones who want to duck and come up with reasons as to why they not fighting the best and all that bullshit. Do I still talk to Atif? Yeah, that's how I was able to get that interview. I reached out to Atif. I'm like, yo, bro, you know what I mean? Can you know what I mean? You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm asking for like a favor. And he put us in a group chat. We spoke, and we got it done. And it was pretty smooth. And what was crazy was And you know Bruce is a real professional because I thought he was gonna stand me up. I ain't even gonna lie, because I had dozed off. I had dozed off on the sofa and shit. I woke up, it was like 12:45. I was telling everybody, I was like, damn, I think he not gonna show, because I had hit him up and he never answered. So I'm like, oh shit. Just like the little young boy Carmel did me. I'm like, damn, that's salty. I thought he spun me. But once it hit 1 o'clock on the dot, he was like, yo, I'm ready. I was like, oh shit. I had to hurry up to the laptop and shit. So he a real professional, man. Shout out to Bruce. Shout out to Bruce Carrington. Really rooting for him. Shout out to Tito Mercado. Shout out to Bomag. Shout out to Rolly Romero. You know, shout out to Thomas Lamana. Everybody, Bradman, you know, Greg Haggett. Shout out to everybody that has came on this channel. You know what I mean? And gave me time to talk boxing with them. Good situation. Shout out to T.O. Senior for picking up that phone call and letting me get into that back and forth with him. He ain't had to do that. You feel me? But it is what it is. We about to get into this boxing talk, man. I want to go over Devin Haney and Brian Norman's media workout, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I see. You feel what I mean? Because you know, there's been a lot of speculation as to, you know, who's gonna do what and who's looking like this, and you know, a lot of people running with this interview that Devin Haney had put out recently with how the way he felt after the Ryan Garcia fight. He opened up, man. He was he showed some vulnerability. You know what I mean? And he kept it honest with you. He told you how he felt, you know, after the Ryan Garcia fight. And I think this is a feeling that's very common, especially when fighters take their first loss in the pros. And he said that he had lost his confidence. And you got to really think about this, man. You're Devin Haney, right? You became undisputed. You know, you never really had, like, you got hurt, you got wobbled against like Jorge Linares and shit like that. But besides that, all of your fights have been smooth sailing. Smooth sailing. And then you get that one fight where you got somebody as youthful as you. Y'all have a history together in the amateurs. You know, y'all names been tied together since forever. You was chasing a Ryan Garcia fight, you know, for a few years. And you was never able to get it. Now you finally get it. Now you on this big stage. Y'all fighting in New York. I got a bunch of people watching, bro. I had a bunch of people in my crib when this fight was going on. People who don't even watch boxing wanted to see what was going on. And you know, this dude, Ryan Garcia, was playing with Devin Haney religion. You know, he was, you know, doing all these antics. You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, this motherfucker running up on you. He hitting you with big shots. He drops you multiple times, hurts you multiple times. He ends up that night getting the unanimous decision over you, right? He ends up getting the unanimous decision over you. So you're like, damn, I prepared as much as I could. You know what I'm saying? Like, I left no stones unturned. I was sharp this camp. Everything went well. This dude did everything wrong. And somehow, some way, he fucking beat me in that small moment. Majority decision. My fault. Did I say unanimous? My apologies. So regardless, like Ryan Garcia did everything wrong. He getting drunk. He's smoking. You know, they say he not training for real. Devin Haney did the complete opposite. Still didn't get the results that he wanted. So yeah, you're gonna reflect and be like, damn, like you be on some Teofimo Lopez shit, like, damn, do I still got it? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? What caused this whole thing to happen? I will start questioning everything too. I'll be questioning my real abilities. I'll be questioning my team. I would question everything I did in the lead up to the camp. Was it this? Was it that? You know what I'm saying? Did I prepare properly? Did I overtrain? Did I undertrain? What the fuck was it? So I could understand Devin Haney's viewpoint and, you know, losing confidence. You feel what I mean? Especially when you know you didn't do no wrong and the person did everything wrong and he still found a way to beat you. It's like, it's an embarrassing, humbling moment. You feel what I mean? And I see a lot of people saying, man, Devin Haney saying he ain't got no confidence no more, man. You know what I mean? This is going to be the reason why he loses to Brian Norman Jr. I'm like, bro, y'all motherfuckers do understand that, you know, mind frames could change. People do understand that, you could be down for, you could be down for a particular amount of time and then, bounce back and become even better. People act like comebacks have never happened before. Motherfuckers act like the bounce back isn't real. And could it be a situation where Devin Haney's confidence is still shot? Yes, but the latter could also be possible in terms of, him learning from that situation, understanding that, that was just a little bump in the road. And, he may have regained or have a new sense of confidence now because he knew since he got through that, he could get through anything. But a lot of people don't really see it in that way. You feel what I mean? But I've seen a lot of people talking about that. But let's really get into the media workout. So let me go ahead and share the screen for the people to see. I will be giving you guys my opinion on what I see, if these guys in the ring. Shout out to Devin Haney and Brian Norman for giving a great fight to the people. And this is a phenomenal card right here, man. Look at this right here. Ben Rodriguez versus Martinez, Fernando Martinez for the WBC, WBA, and IBF World Super Flyweight titles. That's just one fight. That's a unification fight at its finest. Bam only 2 fights away from undisputed. Would love to see one of my favorite fighters do that. Devin Haney, what, 5-time world champion, looking to get his 6th, title amongst, amongst 3 weight classes. Then you got Brian Newman Jr., the new kid on the block that a lot of people are putting a lot of stock into, man. A lot of belief into. I'm seeing Brian Norman Jr. fans coming up out of the woodworks that I've never seen before. Not even in the Jin Sasaki fight that I see this many fans. But regardless, they could be Devin Haney haters disguised as Brian Norman fans at the end of the day. We won't really know until, the end result, especially if Brian Norman loses. We're going to see how many fans he really got. But, a lot of people backing Brian Norman, and Brian Norman's definitely dangerous. My boy Jalil in the building, he said, my old head always said it's not about the setback, it's about the get back. Right, because everybody faces setbacks. Everybody, anybody you can name that has ever touched this planet has had a setback in some way, shape, or form, have had something go on. If it ain't happened in their boxing career, it definitely happened in their personal life. You feel what I mean? And this is bigger than boxing, obviously. This is life we talking about. So people have always had setbacks, but not everybody has been able to bounce back off of their setbacks. There's people who, have a setback and it ends up being the determining factor on why they, fall apart in life. You know what I mean? Bella Faith in the building said ATL, stand up. Atlanta in the building. Salute to Atlanta. Definitely got to go down there before it's all said and done. I heard some good things about Atlanta. Besides, you know what I mean, a lot of non-heterosexual men over there. But besides that, I heard it's a pretty lit city, so we definitely got to go over there and check it out. But anyways, that's just the first 2 fights right here, man. This ain't even including Anthony Yarde versus David Benavidez, which I think is going to be a fucking war, to be honest with you. But we got Abdullah Mason, that young kid coming up under Top Rank, who's been making all this noise and looking like the next big thing to come up out of the, the lightweight division up against Sam Noakes, who, may not be as known as Abdullah Mason, hasn't been getting, the credibility or the recognition like Abdullah Mason, but he's been doing some damage out there in the UK as well. Very, very heavy-handed, rough, aggressive. He looked like he punches very hard. So this is a fight that Abdullah Mason is going to have to bring his A game. He's going to have to be sharp. He's going to have to stay focused. Abdullah Mason, you can tell, you don't get that sharp. You don't get as sharp as Abdullah Mason if you ain't got a good, knowledgeable team behind you that pay attention to the little details and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure they're going to put together a great game plan, and Mason's going to have to follow it because Noakes, that ain't somebody you going to need to be banging with, bro. That ain't somebody to be sitting in the pocket with, none of that. So I think this is a fight where Mason going to really have to show his tools, man. I think Mason can break him down, but it has to be a calculated beatdown. This can't be like, no, yeah, I'm going to step to him and I'm going to push him back and I'm going to sit there. Whatever he want to do, we going to – no. Got to fight a smart fight with somebody like Sam Noakes. You don't want to be taking them type of chances, especially when you've been dropped multiple times in your career. Got to play it smart, especially since this is your first world title fight. So we're going to see exactly how mature Abdullah Mason is. He seems to be very mature from a from a personal view, from a personal standpoint. When we about to see how mature he is in the ring. He sparred guys like Shakur Stevenson and, early on in his career, he sparred guys like Tony Harrison. Great experiences, but there's no experience like being under them lights. You feel what I mean? That boy Lamont ATV says, "What's up, Mazuma? I don't know. I got a feeling Norman Jr. might pull off the win." That's what a lot of people been saying, to the point where I believe he's actually like the betting favorite. A lot of people are putting confidence behind Brian Norman, man. We gonna see. We gonna see, man. I still got Devin Haney pulling off the W, but would I be shocked if Brian Norman wins? No, not really. I wouldn't be surprised, and that's just me being honest. Because Norman has some great qualities that could really give Devin Haney some problems. He got some good hand speed. They claim to know how to cut off the ring. We'll see. He put the punches together really well. Very composed. Great. I think he's very durable, which can help him with just about any fighter, especially Devin Haney. I do think his defense is a bit leaky, to be honest with you. I think that's a main hole that Devin Haney can exploit, take advantage of. But besides that, he got the athleticism, he got quickness, you know what I mean? He got good timing. He could give Devin some trouble and possibly beat him. Ain't no doubt about that. But I still think Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney's ring generalship is going to play a part in this fight. I think his experience is going to play a part in this fight. I think there's going to be situations that Norman will be facing in the ring that he hasn't really faced thus far in his career. And I never heard of Brian Norman being this big amateur standout, Olympian, Olympic alternate. So I don't really know if he's had the experience in the amateurs necessary to really deal with a style like Devin Haney. And even in sparring, I don't know if Brian Norman has ever sparred anybody, that have the same abilities or fight the same as a Devin Haney. We know he sparred Boots, but Boots and Devin Haney had two totally different approaches in the ring. So, this may be a unique situation for Brian Norman. And I see he's confident right now, and that's exactly what he needs to be as a champion. But this fight right here, I think regardless of the outcome, I think Brian Norman is going to really grow and become a lot better after this fight. It's just me. And I'm not going – and, Southwest Dice just brought this up. He said also Devin could be a lot better at 47. That's very true. That's very true. He may be a bit more energetic. He's not leaving fight in the gym. That speed just might be, because his energy levels are so well, we might even see a little bit more speed to him. Might even see a little bit more pop in his punches. I don't expect Devin Haney to be like this ginormous, Gerald McClellan, Julian Jackson, one-punch knockout artist, like prime time he hurt. No, I'm not expecting any of that. But he might have a little bit more thump on his punches, considering the fact that, he was able to put more muscle on. You know what I mean? That he got a little bit more weight that he could turn over into those punches. You know what I mean? And people had this perception that Devin Haney's like this pillow puncher. I don't think he's necessarily a pillow puncher. Like when I look at pillow punchers, I'm thinking about guys like Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I mean? Like a Tim Bradley. You know what I mean? That's who I see as like pillow punchers for real, for real. I don't think Devin Haney's one of those dudes. I think that if he catches you with a good shot, he could do some damage. You know what I mean? And I really think his power is based upon his speed. His hand speed is pretty serious. And they do say that you get hurt by the punches you don't see. So if you're a fast puncher, you could rock somebody fucking cradle out here in these streets. So, so I said all of this, man. Let's go ahead and check this out right here, man. Shout out to the 21 people that's in the building. Y'all go ahead and hit the likes. We about to get into this. My reaction to the workouts.
22nd. Watch only on the Zone.
Shout out to Fight Hub TV. This looks like basic shadow boxing, to be honest with you. I don't really see anything that's going to really determine what type of game plan Devin Haney has or anything like that. But what I am going to say is that he's throwing that left hook a lot, like more than usual from what I've seen with Devin Haney's shadow boxing and shit like that. Could that just be a coincidence? Yeah, maybe, he's just running through the motions or whatever the case is. But a lot more left hooks than what I'm accustomed to seeing from Dev. I'm going to say that. Shout out to Lee Jackson in the building. What up? Asing, what up? Y'all see him sitting down on that right hand, right? Uppercuts, right hooks. He's sitting down on that right hand. It's just something to be, notice. That is something to notice for sure. Punching. A lot of right hooks, a lot of uppercuts.
Thank you very much to the undefeated challenger.
So he just gave us some light shadow boxing. He's not going to show us too much. You know what I mean? He's not going to show us too much at all. And that's pretty smart on Devin Haney's part. The last thing you want to do is just give your opponent the up on what your approach is and how the way you're looking at this fight. You want to leave it as low-key as possible until y'all get into the ring, because that's when they'll have the smallest chance of being able to adapt and, I guess adjust. You feel me? But just look like some simple shadow boxing to me. In all honesty, this looks like Devin Haney just going through the motions. But one thing I did see was that he was mixing up a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? I seen him using his jab. I seen him putting combinations together, mixing in some speed. Within his combination, I seen him sit down on some shots. I seen him counter. I seen him use a little bit of movement. So it just looked like a little bit of everything that's in Devin Haney's toolbox. You know what I mean? Didn't really see any pad work, because pad work can be a real indicator of what a fighter is looking for, or at least looking to land in the fight. But like I said, just looked like he was sitting down on his right hand a lot. You know what I mean? Whether he was throwing the straight right hand, he was getting full extension on that right hand. I seen him throwing sharp, short uppercuts. And I seen him turning over, getting some rotation behind that right hook. And that could just be him perfecting his technique and stuff like that. But this looks like he, sitting down, putting emphasis on that backhand just a little bit, regardless of what punch he's throwing from the backhand. He just looks like he's, turning it over, pretty well. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that I noticed. But, I think it's smart on Devin Haney's part to not really give out too much on what he's been working on. All right, so now Brian Norman's in the ring. So off the rip, look, this motherfucker Brian Norman in the air. Look at him. Off the rip, Brian Norman looks energetic as a motherfucker, man. Definitely more high paced than Devin Haney was when he was shadow boxing. Just look like he's emphasizing speed and volume. That's just something that I'm noticing off of the rip. That might have been something that they've been working on this entire camp, to be honest with you. And Brian Norman, he's showing you. He's showing you that he is shape, that he has, that, he's full of energy. He's ready to go. You know what I'm noticing though? Like Brian Norman's showing you like this, this energy, and I'm even seeing him like, circle, turn to his right and turn to his left and shit like that. And I even seeing him like attempting to do like some type of upper body movement, but it seems like this ain't me nitpicking Brian Norman at all, because it is what it is. It ain't like I got any horse, in this race or anything like that. But it's like Brian Norman keeps his head on the center line at all times, bro. Like all times. Like just take a look. Like and when he's giving that head movement, he's not really, he's not really bending at the waist when he's giving you the head movement. It's like he's rushing through it as if, it ain't anything to go over and emphasize. On the line. On the line. And I see him like creating angles here and there, but I'm not really ever seeing him like pivot around or like making his opponent completely, turn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm tripping or what, but man, this little motherfucker Brian Norman Jr., he's like oozing confidence, bro. This kid got a lot of charisma, a lot more than I've, ever noticed within him before. He's really enjoying the moment. He feels like he belongs here. Like you can't, this right here, you can't fake this. You know what I mean? Like he must have had a hell of a camp. He really believes in himself. He's ready. He's ready for this moment. Like you don't really see people this relaxed, going up against like the most credible opponent of their career. You don't really see people this relaxed going into, some of the brightest lights that you could be under, man. This is a huge event with a lot of money behind it. You far away from home, brother. And so is Devin Haney. But Devin Haney is he's more familiar with the atmosphere over there. He done been over there. You know what I mean? But this kid, Brian Norman, like, look at him. He acting like he had the crib. Like you can't fake this type shit. So I'm loving Brian Norman Jr.'s mentality, in the lead up to this fight, man. He's shadow boxing. You know what I mean? He being light on his feet. He floating in that bitch like he Ali and shit. You feel me? Like he's really enjoying himself. And I love to see this, man, because I feel like what a lot of people do, in boxing, outside of boxing, they don't really take the time to really enjoy what they got going on, in the present. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people You know what I mean? They taking the moment for granted. You know what I mean? It's kind of like people with their kids. They don't really take the time to really appreciate their kids while they're young. And then when these kids, go on to live life without them or go live their own life, they just wish they cherished the past just a little bit more. Brian Norman looks like he's enjoying it now. Brian Norman looks like he's enjoying himself now. You know, this kid, like I said, got a shit ton of charisma. The confidence is very real. This, like I said, this ain't shit that you could fake. You could tell when a motherfucker overcompensating or trying to make it seem like they comfortable, but they really not. Because body language don't lie. But everything that I've seen, and I'm not like this guy who's a fucking body language expert. There's some people who could play a great role and have you believe in one thing, but the whole time they not believing in themselves. But Brian Norman, he's very much locked in. He's very much confident. And it's almost like he knows what's going to happen when he gets in the ring with Devin Haney. Just a shit ton of confidence. Bella Face said, this is why I think Top Rank is dumb for not investing in him. Yeah, that's very much true, man. I just think that when it comes to Black American fighters, man, they want them to follow like a specific code. You know what I mean? They want these guys to wear iced out chains. You know what I mean? They want them to wear all the flashy clothes. They want them to, talk shit and have grills in their mouth. Like, you know how like a lot of people, especially the other side, you know what I mean? You know how they perceive to be like young Black fighters, especially when they get money. They want them to act a certain way. You know what I mean? And if you don't act the way that they want you to act, then they deem you to be like, like a nutcase, somebody hard to deal with. You know what I mean? Like that's what they try to do with Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford wasn't the flashiest dude. He didn't want to talk trash. Bob Arum went out of his way to make it seem like he was uncooperative. When the whole time he just didn't want to, follow this script that y'all set out for him. He wanted to approach things how he wanted to approach it. So they probably deemed Brian Norman to be the same way, which is fucking crazy to me because this kid is very exciting. You know what I mean? He's getting better as he's going along in his career. He's very young. He got this kid, this motherfucker talk. He sound like a young Roy Jones. You know what I mean? He got the swagger. He got the confidence. He's well spoken. Even when he's doing these interviews, he's answering these questions effortlessly, like he's been here before. This kid is like, if he beats Devin Haney, he's gonna be a fucking superstar in the making. You know what I mean? He's gonna be a superstar in the making. I've had my criticisms about him in the past, obviously. But, you got to move on from these situations. And, it's not like, Brian Norman went on to continue fighting ducks and shit like that. But, so, he's giving us a quality fight against a credible opponent who's won multiple titles in multiple divisions. You see what I mean? So this is a step-up fight for Brian Norman. But the way he acted, you would think Devin another Jen Sasaki. Seriously, like, so that's what I noticed with him. This motherfucker guy, he posing like one of them niggas that's in the yard and shit, and the feds just living life. Motherfucker acting like his books, all, you know what I mean, taken care of. You know what I mean? Motherfucker got all the honey buns in the jail. Motherfucker got all the honey buns. You know what I mean? That boy chilling. He ain't worried about a motherfucking thing.
It's lost in the crowd. It's okay. It's your time. How does it feel to have all these lights?
Yeah, I don't really care what Shorty talking about, what she asking. But yeah, neither one of them really gave too much in their media workouts, to be honest, and I wouldn't really expect them to. I seen Devin Haney say that he's gonna do whatever he wants in the ring with Brian Norman, and he could tell him the game plan, and he still couldn't do nothing about it. I deem that to be bullshit. Them Normans, they're intelligent. You know what I mean? They are very observant, and I think they're very capable of making adjustments. If they were to find out exactly what the approach was with them. So I don't really deem that to be true. I just think that Devin Haney's just showcasing his confidence, just trying to get in people's head. You know what I mean? Or maybe he genuinely believes in that. I don't know, but based off of the media workout they said today that they just did, they definitely keeping shit under wraps. They're not about to reveal the full game plan. That's for sure. So on Devin Haney's side, looked like he just gave us some light shadow boxing. You know what I mean? Some shit he looked like he could have just did at the crib for real. You know, a little bit of combinations, a little bit of speed, a little bit of sitting down on punches, good technique. You know what I mean? Used a little bit of movement. Uh didn't really emphasize too much, but the most that I've seen out of that, he was really sitting down on his backhand. You know what I'm saying? A lot of hooks, even from the lead hand, he was throwing a lot of left hooks, but you know, he seemed to put a lot of emphasis on the uppercuts. He seemed to put a lot of emphasis on his right hooks and his straight right hand. So we'll see exactly what that means on Saturday night. But Brian Norman showcasing a lot of hand speed, energy, volume. You know, he was floating a little bit in there trying to show y'all that he got footwork, he got foot speed, he got hand speed. And you know, he showed everything that I knew he already was: athletic, fast, um, uh, uh, good combinations. You know, even with showcasing some good angles with his feet, so he could definitely shift from side to side, which is good to know. But I didn't really see, not to be too critical of Brian Norman, because I could have criticized Devin as well. But Brian Norman, just not really showcasing, quality head movement, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It just looked like he was rushing through the head movement, wasn't really emphasizing bending at the waist. He definitely gonna need to get his head off the line, especially with them straight shots Devin's gonna be throwing. And not really like pivoting. I didn't really see him pivoting at all. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's something that they really emphasize in camp, but I think he's gonna need to be doing a little bit of, especially if he's gonna be playing the counter puncher role. You definitely want to slip, get some counters off. Then you want to step around and make Devin Haney reset his footing. You know what I mean? You want to get the best out of those combinations. If you stay on the center line too long, you're giving Devin an opportunity to get the better of those exchanges and possibly win a round. You know what I mean? But Yasser Ali says, thoughts on Benavidez versus Yarde? Yarde, a dog. I'm glad you asked that, brother, because we about to transition on to the next workout video, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on that as well. So let's get into it, shall we? So shout out to DAZN. Wait, they got the open workout highlights. Let me see if I can actually get like a specific workout from them. All right, so we got it right here. Shout out to Fight Hub again. Fight Hub coming through in the clutch.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
All right. Man, shout out to the real fathers out there. He wilding with the Puma shoes with no socks. He definitely wilding. And he got a motherfucking ankle bracelet too. I don't know what type Tom Benavidez on. But shout out to the real fathers out there that, share the spotlight with their kids. You know what I mean? He plans on having his son be a boxer as well. So it's dope to give his son this experience. So if he were to ever get to this situation, it'll feel like another day in the office with him. It'll definitely give him a psychological edge. But yeah, I don't know what's up with them. This motherfucker got the Africa. Those the Pumas that all the Africans be wearing in Southwest Philly. For sure. But anyways, let's carry on. Benavidez looks in shape, man. I don't know if he shaved off a lot of his hair. I don't know what it is, but he looks skinny. Like he looks like he's in phenomenal shape. So, I don't know. That's just what I'm noticing. So he looks like he's on weight. He looks like he's ready to go. But when you do 12 to 16 week camps like Benavidez, you better be in shape. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like that's what I was saying about Brian Norman. Like Brian Norman really wasn't taking his head off the line, and when he was just like he really wasn't, he wasn't really like bending at the waist, coming down, rolling, pop, 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 like really getting his waist involved. Look at Benavidez. He's really getting his head off of the line though. Like, take a look. He's even rolling underneath the shots. I ain't see Brian Norman roll like not one time, unless I'm tripping. But take a look right here. See, even after when he's done punching, he immediately goes back to defense, which is something that I tell my fighters to do all the time. If you're not moving your hands, you need to be moving your head. You need to be moving your feet. You need to be giving some type of defense. We don't just sit there and allow punches to come back. And I think that's why, Brian Norman throughout his career, he's been having trouble, staying away from getting hit with clean shots. Brian Norman does get hit with clean shots, y'all. So, that's what I'm talking about for anybody that's wondering where I'm coming from with this. See that? He's shooting, boom, then he slipping, and he's rolling. You feel what I'm saying? Whoop, 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 boom, 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 whoop, 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 whoop. See what I mean? He getting right back to the defense after the offense. That's the type of shit that you need to be on when you shadow boxing. And shadow boxing is one of the most important things you could do as a fighter because that's what truly perfects your technique. I'm gonna say this too, and I'm gonna rewind a little bit. For David Benavidez to have the hand speed that he has, being a fucking light heavyweight, is very impressive. Because to be honest with you, I know people that's in the 140s, the 147s, who hand speed is nowhere near Benavidez's. I'm gonna just say that. All right, let's speed through this. Smart choice to use winning gloves to train them, man. Their padding is amazing. In my opinion, winning has the best products, period. Like training equipment, boxing gloves, sparring equipment. I just love winning. Not the bullshit, not the fake shit them Pakistanis be trying to sell you, but the shit that really come from Japan. You feel what I mean? So smart, because David Benavidez has had hand injuries lately in his career. I got those same paddles. Best gift I ever received as a boxing coach. Bro, look how fucking fast he's shooting at 1-2, bro. Like, bro, light heavyweights don't do that. Like what the fuck? Like, they're coming right behind each other. Can you imagine with 10-ounce gloves, how fast those punches are gonna be? Like, I'm not gassing, bro. Like, I'm being honest. If Anthony Yarde was shooting shit like this, I say the same thing. Like, his hand speed for his weight and his size, it is very fucking impressive, man. And it's the fluidity as well. It's not only the speed. It's not just the speed neither. Like, a lot of people, they have this problem where they have trouble with fluidity when it comes to, their offense. Like, they'll go boom, 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 boom. But Benavidez, boom, boom, boom. Like everything, like he's not really giving you a chance to really analyze what's going on. He's putting his punches right behind you. He's not really giving you time to think or any time to anticipate what's coming next. You feel what I'm saying? So I love fluidity. I love like fluid offensive fighters. You know what I'm saying? That's why like that's what made me a fan of Mario Barrios when he was coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was at 140, especially watching him in person, he fought this dude named Naeem Nelson. The fluidity was out this world. He was just all so offensively creative. That's why I used to watch a lot of Mark Magsayo coming up. I mean, I haven't watched him lately, but that was a point in time where I was watching him because I loved how fluid he was offensively. Like he always had something in the clip and he didn't have a problem letting it go. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I see with Benavidez, man. And his hand speed and his fluidity overall is very impressive. You wouldn't even know that was a 5-punch combination, bro. Like niggas would have trouble counting that. Like I'm serious. But my boy Justin Jackson said Andrade is like that. Andrade is definitely got some fast hands, and when he lets his hands go, they can be very fluid. I've seen him throw a couple punches, a couple combinations on Benavidez where I was like, sheesh. But I think what makes Andrade dangerous with his offense is that sometimes you don't know what the fuck he's gonna throw. He has that level of unpredictability to himself, and he throw punches from weird angles too. But they always seem to find their mark. You know what I mean? And I think that's why he's gotten a lot of knockdowns in his career, because like you think shit is gonna go one way, then he just totally flips the script. My boy Anonymous in the building, he said, yeah, everything should be seamless and with ease. A lot of fighters have pauses and intervals with broken rhythm in their punch sequence. I definitely hear what you're saying, Anonymous, but there are pros and cons to having like broken rhythm with the punch sequences, because let's say, for instance, somebody with a certain level of experience, you know, who's especially studied a fighter, they're like, all right, usually when this dude, you know, throws a 1-2, he'll follow through with the hook. Let's say traditionally that's what the case is, right? So they'll be anticipating that. So somebody will shoot the 1-2-3, and they'll probably be able to avoid all three punches because, you know, the person may have threw it fluidly, but it was predictable. See, I think that when Caleb Plant knocked out Anthony Durrell, I think what really caused that knockout was the broken rhythm behind that combination, because when he first shot it, I think he shot like a 1-2, and there was a slight delay. So Anthony Durrell in his mind was like, oh, okay, he's done punching. Let me go ahead and try to get some shit off. But before he could do that, Caleb Plant was already coming up with the hook, and it was a shot he didn't see. So Having a broken rhythm with a punch sequence could fuck up somebody's offense, but it could also throw out somebody's defensive timing, and they could get caught as a result of that. So there's pros and cons to a lot of this shit. You feel what I mean? You just got to know who and who not to do that type of shit with. So this Anthony Yarde. Also 38 people that's in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Not really seeing no off the line, punches from Anthony Yarde neither. Like I said, it could just be going through the motions, not really emphasizing offense or defense, anything like that. I feel like Anthony Yarde's team always got a weird way of doing shit, right? Like, am I tripping? They definitely unconventional with their training. Like, I remember, like, in the lead up to the Sergey Kovalev fight, they was talking about how they didn't spar and shit like that. But then he'll be doing pad work with one of his guys, and the dude's swinging with all his might, trying to knock him out with pads on. It's like, what the fuck do y'all be doing over there, bro? Like, listen, if it worked for them, it worked for them. I'm not going to necessarily judge them, but, based off of how the way they've done certain things in the past, I think they've really, done things to really hinder Anthony Yarde's ability in terms of, like, winning at an elite level. I don't know who it is. I don't really know his team or anything like that, but they got a weird way of doing shit. Like, bro, where's your pads at? Where's your paddles at? Why is you swinging at this nigga bare hand when, motherfuckers be getting poked in the eye and be ready to quit, fights because of that and shit? Like, you got your hand dead ass open. You go ahead and poke Anthony Yarde eye. Now he can't see out the motherfucker. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I've had some traumatizing experiences where, like, I've cut people open during training and shit like that. So I'm very cautious when it comes to that type shit. Asad says, I say it, Anthony Yarde will win this. Okay. You're entitled to your opinion, brother. We definitely going to talk about that. Blame Tunde. Yeah, I don't know who Tunde is, but I'm assuming that's his coach based off of what y'all saying. Nigga, I hope you don't pull back like that against David Benavidez, bro. Let's take a look back. Now, this, like I said, this could be him going through the motions. Maybe this ain't nothing that he's been working on at all. I don't know. I'm not a part of his camp. But if you see this little shit right here, look. That you better not. You better not. You better not. Look at that nigga with your hands down and your chin in the air like that. I hope you don't. I'm just saying. You better not do that. Because you're going to get caught with some hot shit. I'm telling you, David Benavidez don't not have a problem letting his hands go. And he will catch you with some hot shit. And yeah, he ain't this one-punch knockout artist, but one punch can do a lot of damage and can lead to him chopping you the fuck up. I'm just saying, that shit right there, I don't know who told you that shit was cool, but pulling back with your hands down with somebody with Benavidez who has reach, has a good jab, has a good right hand, and has no problem punching in bunches, that could put you in serious danger, brother. Serious danger. Just saying. Hold up. Jesus Christ. Nigga. Do you see how close that left hook is? Now imagine Benavidez being at that range with the type of reach he has. Imagine what that left hook would do to your motherfucking noggin. You should not be if you relying on your reflexes to avoid punches from David, you's a fool, bro. That's all I'm saying. You got to be a bit more responsible with your defense, dog. Them hands got to come back up. Anthony Yarde has been accustomed to getting away with wins and getting wins based off of his athleticism. You know, that'll be a serious mistake doing that with somebody, you know, David Benavidez, who has fast hands and has a significant, you know, reach behind him as well. That could be very dangerous, bro. Just saying. Teacher Selvin, what up? What's going on, Ralph? That nigga Asad said, that bad. Yeah, I know. That really bad. That really bad. What the fuck you talking about? Look at this. Okay, good roll. I know you not turning with that lead hand down. You dead ass turning with your lead hand down and both. This a dude who loves his athleticism, man. What is that? You joking? Yeah, you gotta be joking. He feeling himself. I was about to say, ain't no way you gonna stand square like that and fall right into a motherfucking uppercut. I hope you ain't that serious, but I think he's just feeling the music. He enjoying himself. Anthony Yarde seemed like a cool dude, but he got a, you know, it might be too late at this point. I don't know, but definitely got to get in tune with your fundamentals, brother. I don't know why these dudes be feeling like because they athletic or they got good reflexes that they ain't got to go back to the drawing board to perfect their fundamentals. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing wrong with learning how to catch with the high guard. Ain't nothing wrong with turning with your hands up. And if you're going to pull straight back, bring your fucking hands with you. What's wrong with stepping around an opponent or pivoting around an opponent? You know, circling to your right, circling to your left before you pull straight back. Like, I don't understand, bro. I really don't. Like, why do my amateurs be more fundamentally sound than these professional guys that have fought at an elite level? I really can't tell you. His shoulder rolls be pissing me off sometimes. Bro, because there's certain mechanics that you have to follow with. Like, there's a certain procedure that you need to follow through with when you're using that shoulder roll. You know what I mean? Like, these motherfuckers will have a shoulder roll, but they chin be all the way up here and they shoulder be all the way down here. They just be right here like that. Like, nigga, what are you doing? When I was doing that, you clearly gotta, and that's why people was like, yo, just like, there's people that used to have like this habit where they'll rub their chin against their shoulder just to give them that reminder that they shoulder, their chin needs to be tucked into their shoulder. And then I'll see people doing the shoulder roll, but they not even knowing how to defend the jab while doing the shoulder roll, bringing that right hand over catching. You know what I mean? They don't understand having this arm right here is for protecting the body. You know what I mean? They don't even go over the rhythm of catching, rolling the left hook, catching the hook. You see what I'm saying? How to create offense off of the fucking shoulder roll. You know what I mean? Rolling that right hand off the shoulder, coming back with your right hand, you know, punching it, you know, countering the combination off of the shoulder roll. A lot of people don't even know how to do that. I see stupid ass people like this, just leaning straight back. You know what I mean? They stepping going backwards with this shoulder roll. They get clipped with overhand, and then they going to sleep. I've seen that happen. I've had people knocked out in my I think I'm playing. I've seen people get knocked out cold at my gym and other gyms that I've been to for trying to use a shoulder roll, bro. You can't just use that because you see somebody use it on TV. You got to know the proper mechanics behind it. If you're gonna really try to adopt this form of defense, you have to take the proper. You gotta do it the right way. If you're gonna do something, do it right. Jose Benavidez Sr. watching Yarde thinking we definitely gonna send this guy to the hospital. That'd be funny as shit because the Benavidez, they always say that I'm gonna send this guy to the hospital. I'm like, bro, y'all love trying to send niggas to the hospital. But nah, for real though. So what I noticed, David Benavidez, looking real polished with his shadow boxing and stuff like that. You can tell he really go back in the lab and try to perfect things. I like how, he was a little bit front leg heavy, Benavidez was in certain instances throughout that shadow boxing. But for the most part, showcase some good speed, good jab, good combination punches. I liked how he went back to the defense after, finishing his offense. I seen how he was stepping around, like I said, bending the waist. I seen him doing some good things in there, man. Great. Seen him counter punching as well. Didn't really see much movement from Benavidez, but when do you really see him do that? To be fair, that's just not who he is. But besides that, very polished shadow boxer. Anthony Yarde, good athleticism. You know what I mean? Showing some good hand-eye coordination with his coach. But besides that, very, very dangerous mistakes that he's making in there. He just seems like he's very reflex-based with his defense and not really fundamentally based. And, the reflexes is good to use when you're in your early 20s, mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s. But once the mid-30s start kicking in and the reflexes ain't how they used to be, you start getting touched up more. It was kind of like Roy Jones, right? Roy Jones couldn't touch that motherfucker in his prime. You couldn't. You know what I mean? Then you got, Roy Jones, once he hit a certain age, he started getting hit with these shots a lot more. Then all of a sudden, Roy Jones getting put on highlight reels. Then you see somebody like Bernard Hopkins, who even though he was old as a motherfucker, he was technically sound, fundamentally sound, I guess you would say. And, his fundamentals carried him over to do some great things later on in his career. So, I do think that fundamentals is starting to – I'm not going to say is a lost art because there are a lot of fighters who, are fundamentally sound at the end of the day. But I do think that, like, there is certain coaching, there is certain schools of boxing that really feel like rhythm and I guess reflexes, are more of a way to go about things besides, fundamentals. And that just throws me off in all honesty. I don't understand that shit. Yeah, like Anthony Yarde pulling back with his hands down, chin in the air. I've seen him turn with his hands down. Just solely relying on athleticism or reflexes to, be effective defensively. That could be very dangerous going in there with somebody like Benavidez, man. Seriously. I'm not trying to be biased. Or that's not what I'm here to do. You feel what I mean? I'm here to just give you guys my honest opinion. And that's what I see. That's what I see, to be honest. So, out of the 4 guys that I've seen actually do the media workouts today, not everybody really showed much. If anything, Benavidez gave us a little treat with the pad work. Besides that, everybody seems to be a bit reserved. I do feel like media workouts are starting to become like a thing that people aren't really taking serious anymore. It's almost like the All-Star game and shit. Like, people don't really want to go too hard or show too much because they want to save, whatever they got for the more important moments. But I do think people need to step up these media workouts a little more. I just feel like more and more people are giving us less and less. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you the goods, man, and you really want to be a showman, you want to get a lot of people's attention, you gotta give people a show. And media workouts are a good outlet to do that, in my opinion. So, yeah, man, those were the media workouts. Those were my reactions. What do you want to see? I would like to see them do things, like show us something. That's a great question, actually, Justin. What would I like to see them do? For one, yeah, I want to see some pad work. You know what I mean? If they could show us some type of defensive drills. Like, remember Loma? He used to put like the motherfucking the band around his head, and then like he'll be doing the hand-eye coordination with the tennis ball. That could be interesting. You know what I mean? We seen Abdullah Mason do a motherfucking handstand in the ring. You know what I mean? I guess that's interesting. There's a lot of things you can do. You know what I mean? What's wrong with hitting the bag during the media workout? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with hitting the speed bag? You know, there's a few, and I know they probably didn't have those options available at this moment because it looks like a something just tells me that seems to be at an arena or something. But you know, there's a few different things that you could do. Hand-eye coordination drills, you know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just what I think. Haney versus Norman is the real headliner to a lot of people. In my opinion, that should be the main event. But I think the reason why they making Benavidez the main event for this card is because they got bigger plans for him in terms of facing, you know, the other top heavyweights like Bivol and Beterbiev. You know what I mean? So I think that's why, you know, they put him in position. And at the end of the day, you know, these cards aren't really centered around anybody. You know what I mean? Their whole thing is just trying to make the biggest shows possible. And you know, it's not like they I don't know how to explain this, but I'm gonna say, you know, like how promoters who are actually looking to make money, they'll put like the top seller, the more popular star, you know, as the main event, so more people could come out. Like Turkey don't really give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't really care about making his money back. You know what I mean? They've admitted that they lost money on several occasions, but for his love of the sport, he says, you know, he continues to do this. So based off of him and not caring about getting that, you know, return, I guess he just lines up the fight however he deems, you know, fit in his eyes. I don't know. Is Devin Benavidez fighting in February? I have no idea. I guess we gotta see how they get through their next fights, right? He said Turkey lied about free pay-per-view, but it's okay. I'm gonna buy this. This is definitely a card worth paying for, in my opinion. Like you getting like what to kick it off. We got Ben Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. Great fight, unification fight. That's what we want as boxing fans, right? Abdullah Mesa, same notes. Come on, man. Two big punchers, you know, looking to prove themselves and become champions in a stacked division. Abdullah Mason, he's been like this blue chip prospect from the very beginning since being with Top Rank, and now, you know, he's on the cusp of being like the youngest active world champion in boxing right now. You know, I think amongst men, because now they got a female fighter who's 17 years old and is a world champion. So I think Abdullah Mason will be the youngest male champion in boxing today. You know, Vito Milnicki. I've never been big on Vito Milnicki. I actually don't like Vito Milnicki. I think he's a bitch. R3 said, kind of off topic, but did you see Bakr Mortazalia finally got a fight locked in with Josh Kelly? I've been heard that, bro. Been heard that. But yeah, congratulations to Bakr. We get to see him fight again. Yeah, I don't like Vito Milnicki. He's ass. He's super trash. I just don't like him. I think he overrated. You feel what I mean? I don't like how he went about the situation with James Martin where, you know, that Philly boy whooped his ass. And then when that Philly boy, you know, and then I guess that falls on James Martin. You know what I mean? He ain't make weight. So they ended up giving him to Joey Spencer, big ass. But, you know, I just don't like how he tried to, you know, well, he ain't make weight. Well, I'm just not going to fight him. I was like, nigga, he don't owe you shit. The fuck is you talking about? I don't know, like Vito, he be on turkey time. I ain't gonna lie to you. He ain't really do nothing to really show me that he really cut like that. I would love to see Vito fight one of my professional boxers. Oluwafemi Oyeleye. That's a fight that we've been calling for a long time. But he wouldn't never fight. He wouldn't never fight, you know, Oluwafemi, because Femi will beat the dog shit out of him. Anybody that really knows Vito Milnicki, ain't know he trash. He ain't like that. Man, Vito's ass. Tell that nigga come pull my card, bro. We should have went over there for that fight. For real, for real. Put Vito with Omari Jones and see what happened. Oh, shit. Omari probably whooped that ass. I got to see a little bit more of Omari Jones. Yeah, I'm not too fond of Vito. I just think that he's somebody who comes from a family with money And he sell tickets and shit like that. So because he sell tickets, he a hot commodity. He a white boy that could fight. I think he's very protected as a result of that. They fucked up when they gave him James Martin though. No, it ain't. There's white boys that could fight. We be putting respect on Caleb Plant name. You know what I mean? I was fucking with Joey Spencer when he was coming up. I don't know what happened to him, but I fucked with Joey Spencer coming up. Do I like Brandon Lee, the Kawhi Leonard of boxing? Why you calling the Kawhi Leonard of boxing? But yeah, I remember him and Boots was coming up. They was calling them niggas Rush Hour. They was calling them niggas Rush Hour, Jerron Ennis and Brandon Lee, because they was both with Cameron Duncan. Yeah, I seen Brandon Lee. I seen Brandon Lee with Robert Garcia and them, so that's cool. But I think Brandon Lee was away from boxing. I think he ended up getting his degree or something. He said because he never available. That's funny. Nah, call that nigga Joel Embiid. Sick of that motherfucker, man. I cannot stand Joel Embiid. Should have been got rid of his turkey ass a long time ago. I don't think I'll ever play back-to-back games. Bye, nigga. I don't think I'll ever play back-to-back games again in my career. Bye. Why do we need you? Bye. Said Brandon Lee's a strange case. No, bro, I think he took time away from boxing because he was in school getting his degree. Yeah, that motherfucking edge cold. Nice, ain't he? Yeah, that motherfucking nice. Then you got the little weirdo. What's his name? Jared McCain. Little weird, fruity ass nigga. Then, of course, we got Tyrese Maxey. I don't like Joel, bro. Every time I've ever heard of experiences with Joel Embiid, he always treat people with Philly like shit. He don't be wanting to take pictures with nobody. You know what I mean? When he do take pictures with niggas, he don't ever got a smile on his face. Like, he's so fucking rude. You know what I mean? Like, fuck out of here with that whole process name. Nigga, process yourself the fuck out the league, nigga. Process yourself into retirement. Hang that shit up, nigga. Punk ass nigga. I don't like him. He a sissy, nigga. Philly treats him like shit, though. No, nigga, what? Nah, never. When he came in, bro, we was showing him a lot of love. Nigga, he was in the Philly spirit and all. We was rocking with Joel. But Joel be acting like a fucking pussy. And one thing about Philly fans is if, we gonna hold you accountable. Any nigga who's ever took accountability for their shit, they always seem to get along with Philly. Always. If you gave us your all, we fucked with you. If you gave us your all, we fucked with you. That's why Allen Iverson could walk through these streets and nobody will ever say anything hateful to AI because that motherfucker gave it his all every time he stepped in there. Michael Vick, even though he came to the Eagles, later on in his career, this motherfucker got on that field, broke his ribs, tried to keep playing. That's why when Michael Vick comes into Philly, he always gets love. Like, he always do. Ben Simmons got did wrong? Nigga, Paul George is a fucking turkey, bro. Stop, man. And that happened to be one of my favorite players coming up. I just love how smooth he was. Ben Simmons, I forgot exactly what happened with Ben Simmons, but he was acting like a bitch too. Bro, we don't like that in Philly, bro. If you showing any type of like bitch made attitude, little man, Ben Simmons was a little spoiled motherfucker though. They said he was lazy in practice. Motherfucker, and they're like, yo, bro, this nigga had like open opportunities to like shoot the fucking, like, I remember he had a clean layup. He gonna pass it. Nigga, what the fuck is you doing? Like, it's a genuine question. What are you doing? He needed to be criticized for that. But niggas don't know how to take criticism. Niggas don't know how to take criticism, and they get all upset when people start pressing them. Like, nigga, it's a valid question. Why would you not shoot the layup? If you got a clear bro, you're 6'9", bro. That nigga Ben Simmons is like 6'8", 6'9". Bro, the basketball is right. Nigga, you could reach and touch the rim probably all vertical. that's the fucking case, bro. Why are you so scared to shoot the layup? You got some bitch shit going on. We don't like that. Get out of here. Yeah, he refused to shoot the ball. This motherfucker will make 23s in a row in practice and be scared to fucking lift his arms up for a three-point shot. That nigga 6'10", 250. Man, go ahead with that stupid shit, bro. That's bitch shit. That's bitch shit. Bro, I would be more satisfied with, Ben Simmons if he took the layup and got his shit pinned against the backboard on some LeBron shit before he see a layup and then just pass it off because he's scared to shoot. That's bitch shit. That's bitch shit. Yeah, Ben Simmons is like, man, he a hoe. He definitely a hoe. I'm telling you, he a hoe. I know a hoe when I see one. Now, Paul George, I don't know. I just be feeling like niggas get a couple dollars and they be satisfied. I don't know if he that type dude. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know if it was the leg injury he had. But I remember, man, Paul George was a fucking beast, nigga. Like, on the Pacers, that motherfucker used to get LeBron work every time. Like, I'll never forget that dunk that he hit Birdman with. Y'all niggas remember that shit? When he took that, he got that first step on LeBron, he got bound, he banged that shit on Birdman. That was one of the nastiest dunks, bro. That's when I was watching basketball heavy. Paul George was a fucking beast, cuz. Harden was solid for y'all. Harden not a winner. That's his problem. He ain't no real leader neither, in my opinion. I don't know. I could be sounding like a casual right now. Paul George was nasty, bro. I'm telling you. I couldn't believe he did that shit to Birdman. Now, for real, y'all did Butler wrong as fuck. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Definitely did Butler dirty. But for some reason, don't nobody want Jimmy Butler. I wonder if it's because, like, he problematic. Yeah, bro. Tobias Harris, bro. Nigga trash. I hate when niggas say I look like him. I cannot stand that nigga. There was a few niggas from Philly I never liked, bro. Like, I like Jalen Hurts, but the nigga just be too serious for me, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I fuck with Jalen Hurts. I love what he doing. I think the criticism he get be a little unfair at times. But like, I hate dude personality, bro. Like, I hate that serious shit. You know what I mean? Like, not be like, you could tell the nigga want to smile, but like he be holding back for smiling, and oh, that nigga be pissing me off. Like, niggas be robots out here, cuz. Listen, I mean, Paul George touched a lot of money, bro. Sometimes niggas be hooping just so they could, just like in boxing. Some niggas just get the bag so they can take care of their kids. They don't really give a fuck about the extra shit. Paul George probably one of them. Yeah, like Jalen Hurts, like his personality dry. Like, I think he be trying to be mysterious too much and all that. I hate niggas like that. Maybe maybe ain't shit funny. I don't know. No, it should be funny sometimes. Fuck, like, not everything gotta be serious. A lot of shit don't be funny, but sometimes shit be funny. You know what I mean? You can't be the nigga that think everything funny though. You gotta know when to turn it on and turn it off. There's a lot of shit I find funny, but I mean, I know when to chill out. Playing with AJ Brown, I'll be frowning too. Them niggas been beefing apparently. Them niggas ain't been getting along. AJ Brown feel like he not a part of the offense enough. And I never really heard Jalen Hurts' side. But I heard them niggas don't talk behind the scenes and they squash their problems or whatever the case is. AJ Brown a little bit too emotional for me. He talked too much. AJ Brown talked too much, bro. I understand AJ's frustration because, like, I remember watching a few games and I'm like, bro, at this point, them niggas is shutting Saquon down whenever they can. After that season he had last season, you better fucking know they gonna shut down Saquon any way they can, and they've been having a lot of success doing it. So if your running back getting cooked every play, you know what I mean? You gotta switch the approach up. You gotta run some pass plays or something. Like you gotta switch it up. Like I literally seen this nigga. I seen the Eagles do like out of the 3 jump before they did a 4 and out. These niggas did like 3 out of their 4 fucking plays. 3 out of their 4 fucking play. What was it? No, like 2 out of their 3 plays was like rushing, like trying to get some rushing yards. Bro, it's not working. Why y'all keep doing it if it's not working? This nigga Saquon losing yards. Then if he do get yards, it's only 2. And now it's 3rd and 8. And then here you go trying. Bro, stop. The fuck is y'all niggas doing? That shit not working. Get the pass. Like, them niggas be scared for Jalen Hurts to pass the rock. Like, nigga, he been having success doing that. Nigga don't be getting no NOs like that. Let the nigga throw the fucking ball. Devontae Smith don't be tripping and he's better. Some niggas know how to play their part, bro. And let's say Devontae do feel away. He ain't letting y'all know that. That's how it should be. If niggas really got problems, they need to discuss it internally. Ain't no reason why you out here just pouting like a little bitch. Like AJ be bitching. You need to shut up. You need to shut up and get that shit going. And let's say you behind the scenes, speaking your piece and these niggas still ain't respecting what you want. Nigga, leave. If you over here voicing your opinion and talk about what you want and you having conversations with these dudes and you feel like you'll be prolific in the offense and these niggas ain't respecting that, they don't respect you. So why would you continue being where you do not appreciate it? Go ahead, get the fuck on. That's how I feel. On the sideline reading the book. Who reading a book? I never seen a team coming off the Super Bowl be so dysfunctional. That's another thing. That's like this nigga AJ, he's talking about, man, everything's so fucked up right now. Like, nigga, y'all fucking number 1 in the NFC East from what I understand. What is you complaining about? Nigga, what y'all 7-2, 8-2? Shit ain't bad over there, nigga. What is you talking about? AJ Brown was reading a book during the game. He said the book was to calm him down. Man, if you don't shut the fuck up, nigga, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, nigga. Y'all winning. Shut up. What are you complaining about? That's like the one nigga, let's say you playing a pickup game of ball, right? And let's say the Bull team smoking him, like the game go to 11 and it's like 9-2. Man, what the fuck, man? Y'all ain't passing me the ball, man. What the fuck, man? Man, I'm open. Why y'all ain't nigga, we're winning. Shut up. The fuck? Obviously what we doing is working. Why the fuck you feel the need to try to like, nigga, let the game flow. Nigga, if you end up getting an opportunity, take the opportunity. But we winning. Play your part. Shut up. The fuck? Why you feel like you gotta be the main character when we win this shit? Nigga, shut up, nigga. I would not complain. Just do your part on the defense. If these niggas rolling offensively, let them have it. It's simple. Niggas be more worried about themselves than the W. Bellaface said, I got Benavidez by decision, but this one could possibly be his first KO at 175. I agree. And the reason why I say that is because I think Benavidez understands. I think he's more hungry than ever. I think he's motivated because he knows that he's like on the brink of fighting for undisputed. You know, he may very well get that Bivol fight. He may very well get that Better Be fight. You see what I mean? Like the fights that he's genuinely be looking for is like within his grasp. And now that he got Turkey Al-Sheikh, you know, he got Turkey Al-Sheikh in his favor now. He could put on a show. So I think he's going to be very motivated. I think he's very locked in. I think his jab is going to give Anthony Yarde a lot of problems. I think Anthony Yarde is going to have a lot of trouble getting within mid-range. I think he's going to and I think the only time he's going to have – he may have some counter-punching opportunities because Benavidez likes to, you know, take chances and, you know, get his combinations off. So he could probably throw punches in between Benavidez and try to hurt him. But for the most part, I think Benavidez is going to be lighting him up with that jab. I think them straight shots are going to kill him. And I think the moment that Anthony Yarde is okay with going backwards, I think he starts to lose this fight horrifically. Not only that, but Anthony Yarde does have a tendency of gassing out. Like when he got stopped by Sergey Kovalev, he was fatigued to the max. You know, like he looked like he fell off of straight exhaustion. I think Kovalev hit him with a jab, and like he was just so exhausted that, you know what I mean, this motherfucker just laid out like he was on a futon or some shit. I think that Benavidez's work rate is going to give Anthony Yarde a lot of issues, especially in the later rounds. And if Benavidez end up drowning him and punching on him, I could see him being stopped due to accumulation. I could see him getting beat up real bad. And you know, them UK motherfuckers, they like to throw the towel quick, fast, in a motherfucking hurry. So that might be a situation, or he just get punched out. You know what I mean? Tell the ref, like, all right, bro, like you getting lit up. Like, we gotta stop this. But Yarde has a chance, but I think he's gonna have to be an effective counter puncher in order to you know, get them money shots that he's looking for. I think he's gonna have to punch in between Benavidez's punches. John Wick said, Mark, he said, question, how do you think Benor footwork looked today in the media workout? His feet looked fast, but I didn't really see anything that was like super like intelligent about his footwork. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm looking at intelligent footwork, I'm looking at dudes like, you know, like Ben Rodriguez, who, you know what I mean? They get like they're using their footwork to get in position to, you know, hit guys with shots and, you know, at the same time putting themselves in the best position to not be hit, you know, like creating them angles. Like I see Brian Norman doing like flashy shit with his feet, like float, moving around the ring light on his feet. And, you know, I'm seeing him like, you know, shuffle his feet. You know, I've seen him do like little things. I even seen him create like little small angles and stuff. But like I'm not really like I see the athleticism in his feet. I see the coordination in his feet. But I don't really see like this. I don't really see like this superior level of footwork that his father keep talking about. I don't see that. I don't. But he could prove me wrong when he fight Dev. You know what? The only footwork he's gonna need to have against Haney is effectively is using that footwork. I'm gonna say this. I respect his footwork if he's able to use it in a way where he could cut off the ring effectively against Devin. If his footwork is good enough to cut off Devin Haney effectively throughout the fight, there's nothing I can really do to criticize his footwork because his footwork got him in position to neutralize Devin Haney's feet. Neutralize his movement. If his footwork is good enough to cut off Devin Haney, effectively, I'll give him all the props in the world. That's all the footwork he's gonna need. Shit. Man, and like I was saying this, not yesterday, the day before, because I overslept yesterday. I put up a whole announcement for the live yesterday, and I fell asleep, thanks to my son. I got him off of his pacifier, so now like he having trouble, going to sleep and shit like that. So I ended up falling asleep with him. I woke up, it was 12:30. I'm like, well, shit. But yeah, I spoke about this the day before yesterday, man. I was saying how, bro, I'm just sick of talking about the Normans. I'm sick of talking about the Haneys. I'm sick of breaking down the fight. Like they give us way too much time to like let this fight, sit in boxing fans' minds, bro. Like I'm just ready to see. Thank God we hitting this weekend, bro. Thank God tomorrow's Thursday. Because, bro, I'm ready to just see the end result of all this. You got Benavidez stopping Yarde in the ninth. Okay, Ralph. I like that. That's a good round. I'm thinking like 9's not a bad one. It's not a bad number, but for some reason I see like 11. I think by that time Yarde will be exhausted. Like 9, he might be getting punched on, but I think at 11, I think he'd be ready to be out the door for real. But 9, that's a good pick. Anonymous said, I think if he fight like that, he might burn out quick. He don't fight nothing like that. I don't think his muscle memory accustomed to that. Yeah, that's a lot of unnecessary movement, to be honest with you. And I don't know if that's shuffling the feet and all that bullshit he gonna be doing. I don't know if that's something that will benefit him in the ring with somebody like Haney. Because while you shuffling the feet, he might shoot a 1-2 down the motherfucking pipe. You know what I mean? And you off balance, you get caught with a right hand, and now, you know what I mean, you get an 8 count because you want to do stupid shit in the ring. Like, I don't know, bro. Like I said, I see coordination in his feet. I see good athleticism. But like I said, I don't really see anything with his footwork that's like mind blowing. Like I don't really, and what really is a good indication to me of like good footwork is, for one, you always in position, right? No matter what you do, you always in position to punch. I think that's a great indication of whether you got great footwork or not. Another thing is being effective with using, the least amount of energy possible. So when I'm looking at good examples of like footwork, I'm watching Errol Spence when he was fighting Lamont Peterson, where he's taking small steps off of the line, but those small steps, it's almost effortless to do. Very efficient in terms of like not wasting your energy and stuff like that. But it's enough to make your opponent be out of position, so they're not able to punch you, but you're able to punch them. Also, another great indication of footwork is the using it where, like with Bam Rodriguez, he creates these angles with his footwork where he's in a great position to hit you, but you're in a terrible position to hit him. You know what I mean? Lomachenko is definitely a great example. Jesse Rodriguez, Bam, he said he learned, he developed that style just being inspired, from Loma and studying Loma. You know what I'm saying? But that's another great indication of footwork. When you're able to have the type of footwork where, it takes minimal effort. You know what I mean? It's not really wearing away at your gas tank or nothing like that. You could use it very subtly. It doesn't have to be flashy, but you still getting a job done. You know what I mean? Then you got a flashy footwork like a Loma where, you may be using a little bit of energy, but at the same time, you hitting and you not getting hit. So that's a great indication of footwork for me. Like Brian Norman, he's doing flashy things with his feet. You know what I mean? Like I said, good rhythm, great athleticism, great coordination. But I don't really see anything that's thus far. He can show something different in the fight, but I don't see anything thus far where it's like, man, that footwork gonna give Devin some trouble. Like I don't really see that. But like I said, if his footwork is good enough to cut off the ring against Devin, we can't really criticize him for his lack of feet, because obviously his feet was good enough to neutralize one of the best movers in boxing. How Boots corner Stanionis with the 4 uppercuts? Yes, he did. because he had an idea that Stanionis was going to try to go in that direction. So let me go ahead and cut this direction off, so you ain't got no choice but to fall into this, series of uppercuts. He gonna circle Devin like a shark. Sound good. Sound good. Coffee said all those muscles do nothing but gas you out. If you're referring to Anthony Yarde, absolutely. I think all the muscles that Anthony Yarde has really, hurt him from, lasting in them later rounds, in my opinion. Pressure on Haney to perform, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people saying that he got PTSD and, he hasn't been the same since the Ryan fight and all types of shit. Tom and Jerry, all that bullshit they had going on. It's definitely some, pressure on him to perform. Virgil has nice feet as well. Yeah, he creates beautiful angles. You know what I mean? Robert Garcia and them, they must have that on lock over there. Beautiful angles. He's able to – and that's another thing, too, that I want to mention. If you're able to close the gap without another testament to good footwork is, you always know how close you are to your opponent. And if somebody is consistently, is always seeming to have good leverage on their punches, you could partially attest that to somebody's footwork because, they know the amount of steps they have to take in order to land that money shot, where you catch somebody perfectly at the end of a punch. You know what I mean? Because there's people who don't understand how close or how far someone is, and you see somebody, reaching for a punch or smothering their punch. You know what I'm saying? Ben Rodriguez, he got one of the most effective jabs in boxing, and I think a good reason why is because, of his feet, understanding his distance, understanding his range. You know what I mean? Because if you got sloppy feet, or you don't really got a great understanding of of your footwork. I'm trying to explain this the best way I can, but like if you got sloppy feet or whatever the case is, most likely you're gonna have trouble establishing your range with a fighter. But if your feet are more, mature, I guess you would say. I don't know if I'm explaining this the right way, but I'm sure y'all get what I'm saying. I hope y'all get what I'm saying. Coffee Player said, Mark, if Haney outboxes Norman all 12, does that give us an idea of how a potential Haney versus Ben fight will go? Yeah, possibly, but I think Brian Norman's better than Conor Ben. You know what I mean? Like I think that Conor Ben, he got some good speed, got some, explosiveness and stuff like that. But I look at Brian Norman as a more intelligent fighter. than Conor Ben. Conor Ben has some great abilities in my opinion, but even outside of being a drug cheat, you know what I mean? He got some good abilities. There's some shit that, he does in the ring that, you could tell he was gifted with. But Ben has a low IQ in my opinion. I think he's very predictable with his offense. It's almost like you could call what he's about to do before he does it, Doesn't really have any variety. I don't think he really takes I don't think he's really thinking like he's really observant or really thinking in the ring when he's in there. I just think that he's in there just trying to punch on dudes. Maybe I'm underestimating him. Maybe I don't really understand the method to his madness just yet. And that has happened with some fighters in the past. But Conor Ben, he doesn't really seem like he's an intelligent fighter to me. Like even watching the Pete Dobson fight, he was getting hit clean, and it was like I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like I really don't rate Conor Ben as like this intelligent fighter, but I view Brian Norman to be a, just as big of a puncher, if not a bigger puncher than Conor Ben, and I do deem him to be a more intelligent fighter. I think he has better timing than Conor Ben. All of that, and yeah, being too emotional in the ring is a lack of IQ in itself. It shouldn't have taken him a rematch with Chris Eubank to understand that his emotions shouldn't be utilized in the ring or shouldn't be the main part of your game while in the ring. You said show us a video. Show us a video of what? You want me to get a strike on my channel, brother? What you talking about? Brian Norman has to get aggressive this fight, but don't reach. I've seen him reach several times, so hopefully he doesn't bring that into the fight. Conor called out Rolly. Of course he did. He's seen Rolly been hurt multiple times by punchers, and he think that he could do the same thing. And Rolly's not, known for being as high Q level fighter neither. So I see why. I see why he called out Barrios. Show us a video of good footwork and range. I don't know if I'll be able to do that without getting in trouble. Like YouTube real funny with that. But I was trying to say, you could tell when somebody got good footwork because they know the amount of the amount of steps it'll take in order to get somebody out, get them at the end of their punches, and knowing when to take them small steps back and still be in range to punch. Like that takes a certain level of footwork to do that, because there's people who take too big of a step in the ring, and then they falling over their opponent's feet and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I think part of having good footwork is understanding that small steps can still get you to your target. You know what I mean? And if somebody's too far away, the fuck? Oh, shit. Okay. I didn't know my Christmas tree was doing that. I just noticed I'm fried. He just got to have a good counter for Devin's right hand. That's his most dangerous punch. I don't think his right hand is the most dangerous punch. I think Devin's most dangerous punch is his jab. And the reason why I say that is because his jab sets up everything. So if you take away Devin Haney's jab, he's going to have trouble establishing his offense. That's what I think. The most dangerous punch is the punch that gets you into a rhythm. Your most dangerous punch is a punch that, is responsible for everything else falling into play. Devin Haney, all of his shit based off the jab. If you take his jab away, if you take his lead hand away, he going to be in trouble. Did I see Albright versus Norman sparring? You talking about Quadira Albright? I seen that shit a long time ago, brother. Quadira Albright remind me of a young Adrian Broner, like that 130, 135 Adrian Broner, where he constantly letting his hands go. He punching with bad intentions, letting the clip go. Quadira reminds me just like a young Adrian Broner, offensively, of course. Apparently Quadira wasn't even he wasn't even in shape when he was sparring Brian Norman. But Quadira has been in my gym before. He sparred several people, from my gym at the time. And he was always a good offensive fighter. So I'm not surprised that he has some success with Norman. But I also seen a clip where Brian Norman seemed to be getting off on Quadira. So I don't know if that was in the later rounds or whatever the case is, but I know for sure Quadira wasn't training. He was out of shape when he was sparring Brian Norman. Coffee said it's a reason why. He talking about Conor Ben. My dude was calling out retired fighters early on. Can't beat no elite level fighters right now. I agree. And I think he know that too. That's why he was avoiding guys like Boots and shit like that. Y'all remember Eddie Hearn just said at Boots post-fight press conference against Luis Malima. Like, bro, I don't really want niggas say I don't want my guys like Conor Ben and them to fight Boots. Like he know what it is. You know what I mean? As soon as Boots signed with Matron, I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? We gotta see that. We gotta make that Conor Ben fight happen. Man, that nigga Conor Ben dipped. That nigga got quiet as shit when Boots signed with Matron. It's for a reason. Nigga don't want to fight no Jerron Ennis. This nigga, he's so scary that he willing to skip 154 to go back down to 47. Nah, nigga. You about to skip 54 because Boots there. You don't want to see the nigga down there. So you was at 54. You fought Pete Dobbs there. I think you had a couple fights at 54, bro. You had a couple fights at 54. Did you fight P. Dobson at 154? Let me check real quick. Because I don't even remember the last time Conor Benn fought at 47. How long ago was that? Last time you fought at 47 was Chris Van Heerden, nigga? You serious? That was 3 years ago. Yeah, you fought P. Dobson. You fought P. Dobson at 150 and a half. Nigga, that's a junior middleweight contest, bro. Anything past 147 is 154 as far as I'm concerned. Nigga, if you don't get your goofy ass out of here. Man, he told me I'm gonna go back down to 147. Nigga, why you don't want to go to 154? Why don't you want to go to 154, you fucking sausage? Because you know who the fuck at 154 will knock your head between the washer and dryer out there in the UK, nigga. That's why. You fucking sausage. You fucking prick. You fucking prick. Because you know exactly what the hell Boots will do to your goofy ass. You fucking geezer. Ugh. Go ahead and try to talk that gangster shit with a nigga who from Philly. I'd love to see how that shit go. Conor love acting tough with niggas when he in the UK or when he over here. Man, come talk that gangster shit in Philly, nigga. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. Massive. Yeah, Lamont. It's a massive fight. It's a massive fight going on at 147. I'm a welterweight. Nigga, you ain't no motherfucking welterweight. You was a 154, mate. This nigga Justin a fool. Boots gonna tell him, you want to bet? Yeah, Boots be trying to bet niggas, man. He an asshole. He trying to take your purse and his purse. That nigga trying to leave with both bags. He don't want you to have nothing. 147. Yeah, that's what they be saying. They say all the numbers out. They say the numbers out individually. I ain't gonna lie. When Boo said that shit, I felt his frustration, man. He said, "I'm gonna make you pay for everything they saying." Boost meant that shit with all his heart, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that shit gave a nigga like the chills. Like, oh shit. I know that shit low key had Virgil like, oh, word. He was like, oh, word. He said, I'm gonna make you pay for all the shit they saying. Niggas pointing at everybody. I'm like, oh shit. Virgil was like, fuck. I gotta get this nigga. Man, I was beating up on them white boys. Now I gotta fight this. I had to beat up on Bullet Chuck fucked me up, man. They gave me that fight. Man, I beat up on this white boy Madrimov. Man. Now I gotta fight this motherfucker, man. God damn. Virgil Dead ain't say a word, Ralph. If you peeped, he ain't say a single word. That nigga was silent than a motherfucker. Him and his big head ass manager with that motherfucking what you call that shit? Tight ass Abercrombie muscle shirt, nigga. Boots ain't know where the manager was at neither. He was like, your manager talking crazy. Nigga didn't even know his manager was right behind him. That nigga ain't want Boots to know he was behind him neither. No, Virgil wasn't scared, but there are certain things people would say that have you think like, oh, word, that's how you feel? No, I ain't gonna push this narrative, Virgil. Scared. But there is time, like I don't know if y'all niggas ever been like in an argument with somebody or whatever. But they'll say some shit and you be like, oh, word, that's how you been feeling this whole time. Yeah. All right. That was a situation with Virgil. Like, oh, because Boots ain't never say that before. So he was like, the fuck? Where'd that come from? You never argue with somebody, they said some shit you would never expect them to say. That's why you care about the gym more than me. Huh? What? For real? That's how you feel? Shit. Oh, you never have time for me. You just want to go in the gym. And... Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, yeah, Booz was definitely mad. True colors for sure. For sure. For sure. True colors for sure. All you do is play Call of Duty. Bro, thank God I ain't never had I was never like really a big gamer. Man, I got that PS5 there. All that shit do is collect dust, bro. I got 2 PS5s. Shit. Yeah, Boost is tripping. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love as always. Y'all can go ahead and hit the like button on the way out. That'd be very much appreciated, man. I had a good time talking with y'all, speaking about the Norman Haney media workout, speaking on the Benavidez Yarde media workout. I didn't even get to talk about Ben Rodriguez versus Martinez, but this motherfucker Ben Rodriguez ain't have a media workout because his woman gave birth. And he was on FaceTime just, being there for her. So that nigga Martinez in trouble, man. That nigga, that birth of his son, or I think it was his son. That shit gonna put Bam in God mode. So whatever angles that nigga got, that shit about to be on times 50 right now. I'm looking forward to seeing that shit. I'm looking forward to seeing Bam's fight. I know that boy got me motivated to the bone right now. Eddie Hearn would be like Conor Ben would batter him. Yeah, he would batter him. What they be saying? He said, I'm going to knock your spark out. I'm going to knock your spark out, mate. What was the other shit they be saying? They be saying something like to pieces. They be saying, I'm gonna smash you to bits. They say that. What's the other shit they say? When they excited, they be like, I'm absolutely buzzing. I think that shit is funny. I'm buzzing right now. I'm absolutely buzzing. I think I heard Sam Nook say that. Yeah, Bam definitely gonna have a fire lit underneath him, and that's dangerous, bro. That's super dangerous. Like that's like you just put a whole new, you just put a crazy battery in his back. Yeah, Kel Brook was telling Earl he had some chocolate brownies for him. That wasn't even no UK slang. That was just some weird shit that Kel Brook was on. That was like some weird code for something. I don't know why you would ever call your hands brownies. I don't understand that. I remember that nigga Kel Brook was like, I know you're ready. I hope you're hungry. Well, nigga, what the fuck is this shit code for? Even Earl was like, nigga, what the fuck is a chocolate brownie? What are you talking about? It's right there. It's right there. I'm gonna smash you, mate. I hope you're ready. I hope you're hungry. Oh, this nigga right here, boy, he different. He hit Earl with some shit. That nigga gave Earl a few chocolate brownies. That nigga forehead was all swollen and shit from all them pull counters he had with that jab. On that jab, but yeah, Earl packed Kel up with the quickness. Hope you're ready. You can't polish a turd. Yeah, I remember that. He told Bomac that shit. I was like, well, that turd beat you. So what the fuck that make you, nigga? But if an unpolished turd beat you, then you must be some diarrhea with some motherfucking glitter on it, nigga. Like, what is you talking about? But anyways, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm about to put this fucking this fucking Asian woman through the mattress real quick, and I'm gonna go to fuck the bed. I'll holler at y'all. Hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.